Boof Bets podcast. I am Nate Stephenson. I'm joined by Mr. Big Boofy Scureman. I am back after a week vacation. It feels like forever, Boof. I'm jonesing to get on some action here. Vacation is, I don't know. Vacation's great, but vacation from no podcasting is like, I don't know. Something felt off last week. Just didn't feel right.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you're missing out on a football Sunday in the NFL, I mean, that just doesn't sound right. So, vacation might not even be the right word. But anyway, we're back after a week off last week. Nate was out of town. But here we are. We're back and we're ready to give you some picks.
Oh, we are. It feels good to be back. So, Locks had a little recovery week last week. We're getting back on track here. We had 2-1-1 last week.
Yeah, 2-1-1 last week. The week before, just to cover it, we were 2-3. So 2 weeks ago, we had the Seahawks -2 and the Steelers +6.5. They both covered. We were wrong on the Thursday game, the Pats-Giants under 42. We had the Falcons -2.5. That was the Cardinals game, if I recall.
Yeah.
That one screwed us. And the Cowboys -7. So all three of those lost in week 6. Last week, we had the Chiefs -3 on Thursday. They covered by a ton. We had the Rams -3. They also covered by a ton. Seahawks messed up my whole day. And I hope not all of your days as well. But, man, they definitely messed my day up.
Yeah.
Seahawks -3 against the Ravens at home. And just a great performance by Lamar Jackson.
He's
and
the man.
A couple fluky screw-ups by the Seahawks.
Yep.
Well, not even necessarily fluky, but just bad football.
Lamar Jackson's the new Michael Vick.
Yeah, and I mean, Lamar played great. He looked awesome. And then the 49ers -9 were a push in a
poopy weather game.
In a rainy, sloppy game out there in Washington.
Yep.
But here we are on the season now. We are 12-10-1 with the locks clicking at 54%, and we're looking to get that number at least above 60. So we're looking forward to sharing our picks with you this week here. So I say we get into it.
Indeed. Let's get rolling here. Let's get into the Thursday night game. We got the Redskins getting 16.5 points traveling to Minnesota. The total is 42. I already know off the bat, you're going to disagree on this game because of the such a high spread. I just think the Redskins are so bad. No Jordan Reed, no Geis, no Peters. Well, potentially no Peterson. At the very least, a gimpy Peterson.
Revenge game though, if he does play.
Yeah, it's still. He's too old, and they suck so bad. There's no way the Vikings lose. I literally, I know I say normally.
It does look like Peterson's out, so yeah. I wouldn't count him.
I know I normally say like there's no way, there's always a way. I really feel there's literally no way that they lose this game. I mean, this technically is a revenge game for Cousins too, so so there's if you want to go that route, but
true.
He's gonna be like, yeah, you suck for not paying me $84 million guaranteed for 3 years. I hate you. But
he should be thanking them for allowing him to get overpaid as much as he is.
Right? Thank you so much. Let me throw touchdown passes for the Vikings now. I do believe that's going to happen. I think the Vikings roll in this game. The Redskins just suck so bad. The Vikings defense is really good. Kirk Cousins, ever since his receivers said, hey, you suck, like, try to hit us with a pass, he's done that a lot the past 3 games. So I think this is a short week. The lack of preparation time for an already bad Redskins team who already fired their head coach, who's already really injured as hell. Give me the Vikings all day. This is literally fringe top 5 for me. I honestly, if the point spread was 14 instead of 15.5 to 16.5, I would probably put the Vikings in my top 5 here. But as it is, it's above that, so it's fringeable, but I still feel very good about it. The Vikings are definitely going to win, and I still think you can feel fairly safe with this really big spread, laying the points and taking the Vikes here.
I disagree. I mean, we're talking about a 3-score game here. The Vikings are at home. I know they've been great there. They have actually covered that in their home games this year.
19-2-1 against non-division opponents now.
Against the spread.
Against the spread.
Yeah. That's a great stat. How long is Kirk Cousins going to continue to play great? Adam Thielen is out. I don't know. Again, it's I don't like the Redskins or anything. It's just we're talking about a 3-score game here, and I just don't see it playing out that way. I don't know.
All right, fair enough. Like I said, we were going to disagree on that one. So,
yeah. For me, it's a stay away game. I'm going to put it in because it's on Thursday, so I will throw a parlay together.
Get that Thursday action, maybe.
And it's going to have the Redskins in it, and that's how it's going to be.
All right.
Tough to win by 3 scores in the NFL. I don't think the Vikes are doing it on Thursday.
All right, fair. All right, we got you. All right, baby. Let's move on to Sunday. We're going to move. First Sunday game here is the Giants traveling to Detroit, getting 7 points. The total is 49. I've flip-flopped on this game all week so far, so don't feel comfortable putting it in my top 5. Don't feel comfortable putting it in anything I want to feel safe/good about. I think the Lions are going to win, but the Lions laying 7 points is a lot just due to the fact that all the games they've played in this year have been close, for the exception of the Green Bay game. I'm sorry, not the Green Bay game, the Minnesota game last week where they lost by 12. So, them laying 7 points, I just don't feel good about it. The Giants might be getting Shepard back this week, so they're slowly getting healthier. The Lions are a very poor team against the run so far, going against Saquon Barkley. The Giants, that doesn't make me feel good either. So if you're going to make me lean either way in this game, I would lean the touchdown the Giants are getting, just due to the fact that the Giants, again, like I said, have been poor against the run. They played a lot of close games, for the exception of the game that they lost. So, yeah, you have a team getting 7 points with a really good run game, with the likes of Barkley. I'm going to lean Giants.
Yeah, I agree with the lean. I don't love it. It's tough to trust the Giants at this point. I think we may have had a little bit of an overreaction to how great our boy Danny Dimes is after his first couple of games.
You mean Tampa Bay's not that good? Maybe?
Potentially? Who knows? They're not as bad as we thought either, but that's not the point. The Lions have not covered 7 points on anybody all season, so all of their games have been close or they've lost.
That's a big one for me, yeah.
They do not have Kerryon Johnson. He is now on injured reserve. And we're looking at the Giants going up against a defense that has been a little bit susceptible to the running game. Like you said, you got Saquon Barkley came back last week. So, I don't know. If you made me, I would take the Giants with the 7 points. But again, I hold back on that from a confidence standpoint just because we've been a little high on the Giants the last couple weeks and they've let us down. So they just lost to the Cardinals. They didn't cover an over against the Redskins. You know what I mean? I don't think they're quite as awesome offensively as we were hoping they would be with the new QB, and he's starting to look like a rookie, and he's going through what they're going to go through, and we'll see. But as far as trusting him for this week, I don't. Like I said, if you made me, I'd take him +7, but not top 5 or anything.
All right. Moving on, we get the next game. We got the Buccaneers getting 2.5 points at the Tennessee Titans. The total is 45.5. This is definitely one of those games, the two teams. I don't like either team. I don't feel good about either team. I don't feel good about the spread either team is getting. Jameis Winston has finally had his couple not only blow up, plural games. So can't feel good about them. The Titans finally moved on from my beating stick Marcus Mariota to Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill, the Dolphins, was like, we don't think you're that great anymore, so we're trading you. There's just 2.5, so you're under a field goal. There's nothing I can feel good about this game. I would lean very, very slightly Titans just because they did beat a Chargers team who still does have some talent left that's left healthy. But even that was almost a toss-up game with only beating them by a field goal, and there was some crazy stuff that happened in that game. Titans have a defense. Jameis Winston likes to turn the ball over. I would lean Titans, but other than that, just nothing. I want no parts of this game and anything I feel good about.
Agreed. I think you have two teams that are very inconsistent. They're very average at best. And to be able to trust them betting-wise, for the most part, I don't want a part of games that they are in. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So especially we get two of them in the same game, I don't want any part of it. So
yeah,
I can move on.
Yeah, we're done with that. Next, we got the Chargers traveling to Chicago. Chargers getting 4 points. You know what? I can't believe I'm saying this, Boof. I love the Chargers this week.
I was shocked when you said that today, man. I really was. Because even when we were texting on Monday, you told me I was stupid when I said I like the Chargers +4. And here you are today.
I know.
You got them higher than me.
I know. Go
ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I might have the Chargers in my top 5 this week. It's crazy to say.
Get on the train, baby.
It's just the Bears all of a sudden really suck. I know we talked about earlier this year. They're like, all right, so we are expecting a regression by the Bears.
Yeah, they're not going to be some 13-3, 12-4 team.
Exactly.
But
we're expecting regression.
9-7-ish, maybe contend for the playoffs.
Yeah, you might be able to contend for a wild card spot in the NFC, but they suck. Our Bitchke is Bitchke. He's playing true to the namesake. They are literally bottom of the league almost in pass yards per game, pass yards per play, rushing yards per game. They can't move the damn ball. They can't move the ball. They suck.
Yeah.
Bitchke sucks. They suck. Nagy might suck. It's to the point where I'm hearing rumors maybe they should trade for Cam Newton, which, honestly, maybe they should trade for Cam Newton. That might be a really good thing. But I have lost all faith in the Bears. I've lost all faith in Bitchke. I don't like them. I think the Chargers, even a wounded Chargers team,
they're less wounded than they've been.
Yes, to an extent.
Hunter Henry's back. Melvin Gordon's back.
Yeah. Well, I think it could be argued that Melvin Gordon.
Mike Williams is back too.
Yeah, Mike Williams is back. I think it could be argued that Melvin Gordon's not necessarily an upgrade right now at running back from what I've read and heard.
It could be argued that for sure. Yeah, it could be argued.
But like you said,
he is back though.
But as you said, all those guys are back. Even it's one of those things where even how bad the Bears have looked offensively, even if they win this game, do we really think they're going to win by more than a field goal? The spread's 4. So give me the Chargers +4. I love that. I'm going to take that all day. I'm not hearing anything bad about the weather, so I think you can feel pretty good about Chargers +4. They're in my top 5.
Yeah, I like the Chargers +4 a lot. I was talking with Nate before that there's probably 8 picks that I would put in and feel pretty confident about this week. Now the Chargers did not make my top 5, but I do like them a lot. Like we said, we got a lot of guys that are back now, and it's more about how bad the Bears have looked. It just is, and they kind of remind me of Jacksonville 2 years ago, where they had this awesome defense, and they're so bad on offense.
Oh my God, so bad.
It's tough to show up with the right juice, the right enthusiasm on a play-by-play for every play in a game basis. And I think that's kind of what you're starting to see with these guys. And I think it continues against the Chargers. So, I don't know. Give me the Chargers +4. I kind of like them to win the game. If you're going to give me 4 points, so over a field goal's worth of an edge, I like the Chargers here, man. I do. I like it. I like it a good amount. Not top 5, but I definitely like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say I was actually borderline disappointed reading that in your top 5 because I'm like, you know what, I'm finally on the Chargers. I'm finally sipping the Kool-Aid a little bit for considering who they're playing this week. You have your boy Philip Rivers at quarterback. It's still not your top. I was like, it was like almost like a letdown this week. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Sorry, buddy.
All right, next game we got the Jets traveling to Jacksonville. They're getting 6 points. The total is 41. I'll tell you what, Boof. I think this game started, I believe, at +3 for the Jets. It is now up to +6. I really feel like this is a classic case of public overreaction to the horrible beatdown the Jets received at the hands of the Patriots. Sam Darnold maybe being mic'd up and being heard saying the saw ghosts against the Patriots defense. So, I mean, it's, I feel like how many teams in the league see ghosts against the Patriots defense, but I don't know, 6 points, man. Like, I love what Minshew has done down there.
See, I don't want to say love. I'm like we were talking. I'm coming off that a little bit.
I love an underdog story. I mean, I'm not saying.
I like the story.
About
performance.
Don't confuse me saying I love the Jaguars versus I love the story. I love the story.
Okay.
But do I love the Jags in this game? No. It's one of those things where, like, I will lean Jaguars winning. If I'm saying I'm leaning Jaguars winning, I'm not leaning Jaguars -6. That's a big spread. That game against Cincinnati was close into the fourth quarter last week.
Yep.
The Bengals.
I mean, the Bungles.
The Bengals suck. So I feel like this is a Jets team 2 weeks ago who just beat the Cowboys. I mean, now granted, there's some debate on how good the Cowboys are this season after what they have done the past 3 weeks before finally getting off the schneid against the Eagles. But I feel like the Jets aren't that bad. They still have some talent. And Darnold isn't as bad as he's shown. Now, is he as good as people think he is? That's another debate. But 6 points against the Jaguars. I'm leaning. This is definitely a game that's not my top 5, but I think you can take the 6 points with the Jets here and not feel bad about it.
Yeah, I agree. If you were making me, I would take the Jets +6. I don't love it or anything. I just don't think the Jags are the type of team that should be favored by 6 over anybody but like the Bengals or the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So to me, the Jets are not quite in that category here. And again, I know they got clobbered by New England last week, but the Jaguars are not New England. So no Jalen Ramsey. He's gone. He's been out for a while. Their defense is not as good as they've been. I mean, they're solid, but they're not. They're not what you think of them over the last couple.
Have some injuries
like from a couple years ago or anything like that.
Yeah, plus they have some injuries at linebacker too as well, which that means a lot when you're covering and have to deal with guys like Le'Veon Bell.
And when it comes to like Minshew, there's a big difference between exceeding expectation and being great.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference between and people get that confused all the time because. And that to me, that's kind of what happened with Daniel Jones a little bit too. I mean, you come in, you never seen a guy, he exceeds expectations real quick, and now we think he's awesome. You're not awesome yet, at least. And with Minshew, I feel like we're in similar waters here, where he started hot, got a couple wins and stuff, and all that's great. But I'm not necessarily giving the keys to the franchise to you quite yet. And to have you as 6-point favorites over anybody in the NFL, I just don't think is correct. So if you're giving me, I'm taking the Jets +6. Don't love it because how can you have confidence in the Jets after last week? But if you made me, I'll take Jets +6.
I'm with you, man. I one more thing before we move on because it just hit me. You do realize it's crazy right now. You have a rookie 6th-round pick quarterback who's favored by 6 points over a guy who was drafted in the 1st round last year. How crazy
I know,
is that?
exactly.
And
the rest of the team, talent-wise, semi-comparable. It isn't like...
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like a couple... not even half of...
Is DJ Chark that awesome? Come on.
Don't make me start singing the Shark song. No kids listen to this show.
Right. Yeah, don't do that.
Next game, we got the Eagles traveling to Buffalo. They are getting 2 points, or 1.5, depending on which book you're looking at. Total's 43.5. My heart says go Philly here. They even with their injuries, they have the talent on offense to go to Buffalo and be like, come on, like, it's like, do we really think Buffalo has enough on offense to beat Philly here? That's my knee-jerk reactions. My take a step back and let's reassess this game feeling is slightly different. It says it leans Buffalo because you have a Buffalo team. Their only loss is to New England, who is obviously the best team in the league with their potentially record-setting defense. Philly looked like crap offensively against Minnesota. Again, top 10 defense in the league. Bills, top 10 defense in the league. So I would lean Buffalo here. But I don't know, man. I just have a weird feeling. I'd lean Buffalo to win and -2, which damn near pick him anyway. But you get a feel. I have this feeling that like there's still a bunch of guys with rings on that team in Philly. Like they're gonna get off the mat at some point. Like, So I guess in the end I say I lean Buffalo, but I'm staying away.
I disagree. I love Buffalo here. They are in my top 5. I told you guys early in the season, Buffalo will be a profitable team this year. They have been all year.
Yes, you did.
I look for that to continue here.
Yes, you did.
I will be going with the -1.5 line on my preferred book.
And I will be taking your advice on that in a couple of my parlays as well.
But just a couple other elements to this thing. I mean, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, they were kind of the first team that was really working with the RPO stuff offensively. And it's been a couple years. I think defenses have had a chance to catch up to at least the way that they do it a little bit. They've still been good offensively, but they're not the elite offense level that they were at that point in time. Secondly, Frank Reich was around back then, and he had Carson Wentz playing at an MVP caliber level. Now, Wentz has been good, and there's been games with drops, and we had 2 fumbles against Dallas last week on the first 2 drives that are not Carson Wentz's fault. None of that kind of stuff. But we're going from an MVP caliber player to a good caliber player. And I do think they miss Frank Reich, and then you see what's going on in Indianapolis, where Andrew Luck has a fantastic season last season. He leaves unexpectedly, and Jacoby Brissett is second place in the NFL with touchdown passes 14. behind like a 3-way tie for first. So, to me, Frank Reich is a guy that can get an offense going. The Eagles miss him. The Bills' defense is awesome. I think they took Miami a little lightly last week, so I'm not afraid of them only winning by 10, even though it could have even only been 3. And I like them. I mean, we're talking 1.5 points. This is basically a pick 'em. I like the Bills to win. I trust it a lot. They are in my top 5.
All right, moving on. We got the Bengals playing, not traveling to, playing the Los Angeles Rams because this is the London game being played at 1 p.m. locally, I believe 7 p.m. locally in London, England. The Bengals are getting 13.5, and the total is 48. There's really no other way to say this. I'm not taking anything with the Bengals and feeling good about it. The Rams are still the Rams to a point. They haven't been the Rams of old, but they are still the Rams. And I love them to score a lot of points on a really, really crappy Bengals team. So give me the 13.5. I will lay the 13.5. The Rams win by at least 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, they're winning by 20.
There's not much not much else I can. Yeah, just give me the Rams.
I agree. I love the Rams here, and this is something I was talking to Nate about during our discussion today before the podcast. I'm down on the Rams overall as far as where I expected them to be coming into the season.
They're more of a wild card team this year, I think.
Yeah, but I think they're kind of like some of these overrated college teams that just look awesome against lousy teams, and they run up the score and just make it look that much better.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that's the case that you're going to get here, where we're playing the winless Bungles. It's a 13.5 spread. I think they're going to win by over 20. I like all their guys in daily fantasy. Take Kupp, Gurley, Goff, Cooks. Everett, Woods, take them all. You take their defense too. Why not?
I mean, their defense might look good. Aaron Donald might get a touchdown.
We got Ramsey. We got Donald.
Yeah, Donald might give him a touchdown.
Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I don't know. I love the Rams here. They are in my top 5. That gives us our first lock of the day. Let's get that money.
Lock it in, baby.
Get that money.
All right, next game. We got the Cardinals traveling to New Orleans to play the Saints. They are getting 10.5 points against Turnover Teddy, who I actually don't think I can
we got to get him a new name, brother.
I don't think I can call
way too good for Turnover Teddy.
Yeah, I don't think I
You can call him Touchdown Teddy.
Yeah, I think you might be able to, man. I'm betting a lot of crow when it comes to Turnover Teddy. I think Turnover Teddy might be Touchdown Teddy. I'm becoming a Teddy believer. So much so that you and me are in complete disagreement about this game, which I can't believe I'm saying, because I like Kyler Murray. I like athletic quarterbacks. I love quarterbacks who can run, throw, and do everything. And if I was like Windows XP right now, I'd have a blue screen. Like there's like, oh my God, there's so many things I just can't compute right now. I want to love the Cardinals and I love Kyler Murray, but like, damn it, the Saints have just continued to defy my expectations without Drew Brees. Because it's like, give me Drew Brees, and I know what the Saints are. They're going to be a playoff team. They're probably going to win their division. And then the Brees injuries happened, and I was like, all right. I saw the first game with Bridgewater, and I was like, all right, I know what I'm getting. They're probably going to be a wild card team if Breeze gets back soon enough. But then they've
won all of them.
They've won every game. It's just like
it's really impressive.
Like
it is.
I literally lost.
I'm impressed with Sean Payton. I'm impressed with the defense. I'm impressed with Teddy. I'm impressed with the rest of the offense.
I lost 100.
It's awesome to see.
I mean, you again. We were talking pre-show about this. I mean, you were busting my balls about the fact that I lost $100 on just betting against the Saints against the Bears. I'm ashamed. I
told you on that one.
I'm ashamed to admit that.
I had to give you I told you so on that one.
That honestly was the tipping point in so many. Like the Bears Saints game was a tipping point in so many ways for me last week, as you can probably tell. I was like,
you were chasing a bit at that point
too. Maybe a little bit. We were still. In the end, we were up many units. So I think 15 units, something like that. But yeah, I was trying to get a little greedy last week. I was like, a couple extra units here. I think the Bears are going to win the Saints because nope. So yes, in summary, I don't feel good about this game because I would have went against the Saints, and now I'm just like, I feel like the Saints are going to win, but I don't know by how much, so I'm staying away. Boof, I know you feel much differently than I do.
Yeah, I disagree. I mean, we're talking about 10.5 points here. It's Cardinals plus 10.5. I love them. They are in my top 5. I mean, I like I said, I love what the Saints are doing. I'm very impressed, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, we're still talking about the backup QB here. The Cardinals have quietly won 3 games in a row. It's a new head coach. It's a new system. These guys don't practice. The games that they play are better practice than anything they're going to get. And I think you're seeing this team get better every single week. And they've found their stride a little bit. I know it was against 3 bad teams. We're talking about what? The Giants, the Falcons, and who else was that? And the Bengals. So, that's close to as bad as it gets. But
Bengals aren't a bad team.
But they're winning all 3 of them. And they had a tight one against the Ravens and the Lions early in the game. So they've only been blown out once. So I don't see the Saints winning by over 10. So give me the Cardinals plus 10.5 here. I love it. And they're in my top 5.
Yes, they are. We're moving on. All right, next game. We got the Broncos traveling to Indianapolis to play the Colts, and our boy Jacoby Brissett, who, might throw a couple touchdown passes occasionally, according to what we were talking about earlier. Broncos are getting 6 points. I love the Colts here laying the points.
As you say, Broncos need more than that.
The Broncos need a hell of a lot more than 6 points. They suck. Joe Flacco sucks. Chubb is now on IR. They traded away Emmanuel Sanders. I'm sorry. Dude, the Colts beat the Chiefs by 6. We all know how I feel about the Chiefs and Patty Mahomes. That's been well documented.
Yeah. The Chiefs scrubbed Denver on Thursday.
Yeah, with a backup quarterback for half the game.
Yeah.
So give me the Colts -6.
Yeah.
No further explanation needed, and feel good about it.
I mean, the Chiefs had 6 sacks on Flacco in the first half, and you just watch him take it. Again, I know we've talked about this before, but he just stands there. There's no pocket awareness. There's no taking a sidestep or anything. It's just, well, they snapped the ball, and here's where I was standing, so that's where I'm going to throw the ball. So if anybody's able to get there, you're going to get them.
Yeah.
But, I digress. On the injury front, Darius Leonard came back last week for Indy. That should help them great against the run, which is really the only thing that Denver has going for them at this point. I don't know. I just don't know what you can be excited about with Denver. 6 points is not enough. So I like the Colts -6. They are in my top 5, and that gives us our second lock of the week.
Lock it in, baby.
Get that money.
All right, next game, we got the Panthers traveling to San Francisco to play the 49ers, getting 6 points, and the total is 42. I not only lean hard Panthers here with the 6 points, I'm taking the 6 points here with the Panthers. I see two teams here that are almost mirror images of one another, two solid defenses, two offenses that have the potential and ability to put up points, but sometimes can go, kind of go to sleep a little bit here. I think the Panthers have the edge at running back and receiver. I would give the edge at tight end to the 49ers with Kittles, but obviously the Panthers still have Olsen at tight end. But, the Panthers have a really, really good defense, but yet the Panthers do as well. You're giving me 6 points with all those similarities, even though it's on the road. I'm taking the Panthers, man. I'm feeling really good about it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the logic that you have with making the pick. I'm just impressed with San Francisco enough that when I showed up today, I shouldn't say I like San Francisco, but I would have taken San Francisco -6 if you would have made me. And then, we talked about it, and we were talking about, all the different variables that go into it and everything, and I was like, maybe the Panthers. So I don't like the game. From entertainment value, I think this is one of the better games that is on TV on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So must-see TV in that sense, but as far as making a pick, I don't want any piece of it. I do think one of the value picks, if there is anything, is Panthers on the money line because I think they can win, and the payout is +220. So, you're looking at, if you were to bet $100 on them 3 separate times individually and they only won once, you would still net in the green there $20. So, in that sense, I think there's value in the bet, but I don't, think they're going to win or anything enough to have confidence in a pick here.
Who's a Panthers quarterback?
That's your boy Kyle Allen, man.
Is he undefeated?
He is. You've been on it since the first week. I will give you credit on that.
Give me the Panthers, baby. Top 5.
Ride the trade here.
Top 5, baby.
Right?
Top 5.
We'll see what Nick Bosa has to say about that.
All right, next game. We got the Brownies traveling to New England. Good luck. They're getting 13 points. That's not enough. Yeah. The Browns are going to New England. They're good. They might not lose again this century. I don't even need to tell you the total because that doesn't matter. It's 45.5, but it still doesn't matter. Patriots are going to win. It's 13. See, this is the thing. I feel like I could take Patriots -13 here and be like, yeah, they've scrubbed everybody. But there's just this FU part of the Browns. The Browns are definitely a Jekyll and Hyde team. I think there is literally a 99.9% chance they're going to lose this game. But there is a small part of me after their literal dismantling of the Ravens. They were like, yeah, they do have the pieces that could give New England trouble. At least enough to cover 13 points. So like that's what gives me pause with the 13 line, and it's like it's one of those things where like it's still the NFL, and like you are going to blow everybody out every single week. If there's any team that can, it is New England. As much as I'm arguing against myself here, so that's why I'm staying against the line. 13 either way, I don't feel comfortable with enough. But we are dealing with a New England defense here that is on a historic pace. They've given up 27 points.
And they have scored more than they've given up.
They've scored more points than they've given up. And they've only given up 27 points. The Browns right now, depending on which book you're on, the Browns team total is set at 17. To me, if there has ever been a more guaranteed win bet it's that. Like, give me under Browns 17 points. And just take it to the bank. Like, I take it to the bank. And then, I mean, if it rains or something, I mean, I will say this. I actually don't know the forecast for this game. But if there's any chance of rain or any inclement weather, that just exponentially increases that already almost for sure thing for me anyway. So, yeah, you're basically banking on the Patriots defense to just kick ass, take names, and also Baker Mayfield to continue being sucky ass Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. That is definitely my favorite pick in the game. It is in my top 5.
Mine as well.
When you look at what's been giving the Browns trouble all season, we've talked about this before. It's teams that can rush the quarterback. And with New England, I mean, their defense, they're great at everything. I mean, they have talent. They get you a scheme. They rush the quarterback. They have a bunch of guys that can rush and cover, so you don't necessarily know which ones are coming. I mean, Stephon Gilmore can cover top receivers, so they don't necessarily have to overcommit to Odell Beckham the way other teams do. I'm sorry. I do not see Cleveland's been able to run the ball well, but the Patriots have Danny Shelton inside, and they're great at stopping the run. So, I mean, I just don't see where Cleveland is going to be able to do anything offensively. And 17 points just to me is not happening. So I love the under 17. Beyond that, Bill Belichick to me seems to not only understand, but he cares about his place in history. And being a defensive guy,
yep.
I think he really is taking pride in the fact that this defense is off to a historic start. And they have an opportunity to finish as an all-time great defense. And I think he cares about that. And I think he cares about being able to say that, I had the Giants playing at this level, and I've had the Patriots playing at this level. And if you even look at the year that they went undefeated, I mean, conventional wisdom says once you got it all locked up, you sit your guys, nobody gets injured, the goal is to win the Super Bowl. Not then. He cares about his place in history. He wants to be the only guy to go undefeated in the 16-game era and win the Super Bowl. Now, it didn't happen, but he went for it. So I think New England's going to continue to go at this pace, and holding the Cleveland under 7 to me is a lock.
17?
And lock it in, man. That might even be my favorite pick of the week. I'm not sure, but
I think it might be.
Definitely love it. It is a lock, so out of the way, it's up there.
Yep, lock it in, baby.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Get that money.
All right, next game, we got the Raiders traveling to Houston to play the Texans, getting 7 points. The total is 51.5. I love, with a capital L, love the Texans to win this game. I know you don't agree with that.
I do not.
I do not feel comfortable with the 7-point spread, considering the performance this season to date of the Raiders and the Texans. But I do the performance of my boy Deshaun Watson gives me a good amount of confidence here to take down the Raiders. I just don't think the Raiders have enough offensively to hang with the Texans here. They're really, really thin at receiver. They have, our boy Darren Waller, who's having a hell of a season. I mean, I believe he's top 2 tight ends right now.
Yeah, he was second when we looked it up.
Yeah, fantasy-wise.
Point-wise.
He's getting it done. I mean, he's definitely a focal point of their offense. Jacobs is doing awesome running back. But, I mean, you got to have – the best offenses have, a top guy across the board. And right now the Raiders just don't. I mean, Williams, even when he's healthy, he's arguably going to be a number 2 on most teams. So – What helps him, what gives him some help is the fact he does have a guy, a top-tier tight end like Waller inside. So, I mean, he's coming back from a Liz Frank. We don't even know if he's playing yet. And even if he does, how healthy is he going to be? So, I mean, I think that the Raiders can cover 7, and that has more to do with the inconsistency of the Texans. But I just don't see them winning the game. I mean, I just think there's... especially being, traveling to Houston. There have been how many weeks in a row now on the road for the Raiders. They're getting road weary. Even Derek Carr said, I read a quote, he's just like, I'm getting really tired of being on the road here, man. I can't wait to get home. I don't see how the Texans lose here. I'm taking the Texans on the money line and some parlays, but other than that, I'd lean -7 with the Texans, but I'm staying away from it.
All right, well, I like the Raiders +7. Talking about taking the Texans on the money line, I mean, that's great. I wish I could just buy a touchdown and be like, oh, boy, I like this team. Like, I don't think that's much of a statement.
Point boost there, point boost. But boosting the payout, I like more money.
But anyway, I mean, the Raiders have won 2 out of their last 3. They gave up 42 points to the Packers last week in a Aaron Rodgers kind of display of excellence. But even that game, at the same time, at the end of the first half, Derek Carr gives up a touchback on a play where he's like going out of bounds and tries to stretch it across the goal line at like the 2-yard line. And he ends up fumbling the ball into the end zone and out of bounds. It ends up being a touchback. Now, we turn that from what is looking like a touchdown for the Raiders to Green Bay goes right back down and scores a touchdown. That was the difference in the game. That's already 14 points like that. If not, just if we're able to score there, I mean, the Raiders have the lead 17-14 with under a minute to go in the first half. Who knows what Green Bay ends up doing? Maybe they take the lead back anyway. I don't know. But at that point, they could have had a field goal lead, and this could be a completely different game, and we could be sitting here talking about how the Raiders have won 3 in a row, all of them on the road. They just came off of the Packers, and now we're coming into the Texans, who just lost to the Colts, and we're talking about how great Deshaun Watson is, and, I mean, he is awesome, but there's still a degree of inconsistency to his game that to have any confidence in them at -7 to me is insane. So I think 7 is way too high. For me, if you were taking the Texans, it needs to be under a field goal. It's at +7. At +7, I like the Raiders. So that would be my pick if you made me. Don't love it, but I kind of like it. So if you're kind of on it, I'm down with the Raiders +7 here.
All right, man. Word. All right. We're moving on to the Sunday night game here. We got the Packers traveling to KC. The Chiefs are getting 4 points at home. Like that. Now, that's almost like a double take thing here. But you're like, wait a minute, what? But,
The big one here. Come on.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Mr. Mahomes probably isn't playing. He got a little knee injury last week. Thank God, he was looked a little scary, but my boy, he's gonna be back in a couple weeks at most. He's had a little dislocated kneecap, slightly painful, but he's gonna be all right. No ACL or anything like that, but kind of a big deal. So he's mildly important to their offense, I'd say. So we have Mr. Matt Moore starting a quarterback for the Chiefs. Hence the 4-point cushion being given to the hometown Chiefs here. You got A-Rod coming into town, so that's a big deal. Total's 48. See, this to me, this is where the 3 or 4 point margin matters a lot here. Depending on what book you're at, it could be 3.5, could be 4, it could even be 3. I haven't seen 3 yet, but if you're giving me 4 points here, I'm still leaning Chiefs. Arrowhead is one of the few fields in the league.
This is as precise of a pick as I've ever heard.
Oh, very precise. Very precise. Very precise.
Big point.
Very big point. The Arrowhead is one of those fields that it's a big deal as far as your home field advantage. It does. The crowd noise does matter. It's louder there. It's just it is. If you're giving me 4 points, I'm leaning Chiefs. If you're only given 3, I would lean Packers. The Packers have been playing great. Their defense has been playing great. A-Rod has been playing great. As we all know, the Chiefs' defense, although improved, is still not great. So I've just given you a bunch of stuff that says if it's one way, go this way. If it's another way, go this way. But as a whole, don't feel great either way. So the floor is yours, Mr. Boofy.
I like the Packers. This is in kind of that 8 picker that I was talking about at the beginning of the show. On my preferred book, I got them at -3.5. We're talking about a Chiefs defense that stinks. Let's not get the Broncos game confused with what is the actual defense over there. Despite the little situation I was talking about in the Raiders-Packers game last week, Rodgers still ended up with 6 touchdowns. So, to me, the Packers offense is coming into kind of hitting their stride a little bit. Devontae Adams he still did not participate in practice, it is my understanding today. Hopefully he's able to play. If not, oh well, they got 6 touchdowns without him last week. Again, the Chiefs defense stinks. To me, that is just a glaring mismatch. There's no Mahomes on offense. I don't know. I don't see any way that the Chiefs can hang with these guys without Mahomes. I really like the Packers here to cover. So, not top 5 because I like the other stuff more, but I do like the Packers.
All right. We are moving on to the Monday night game. We got Miami traveling to play our Steelers here in Pittsburgh. We're all
This is the Nate special here, baby.
Oh, my God.
Put it up on Facebook,
man.
Don't
even know what's about to happen. The Dolphins are getting either 14 or 14.5, depending on which book you're at here. Total is 43. Bro, this is the Tomlin loss this is the prototypical Tomlin loss to a crap team, which definitely means I'm getting 14 to 14.5 points with the Fitzmagic just only lost to the Bills by 10, and that was only because the Bills decided to return an onside kick back for a touchdown. They should have only lost to the Bills by 3. The Steelers, I think, are very comparable to the Bills. But worse. I mean, defensively, very comparable. Bills arguably better with everything.
Are better.
Are better. I mean, 5-1 definitely say you're better. So, yes. So, give me the Dolphins plus 14, plus 14.5. I'm even going to have a home run parlay where I take the Dolphins on the money line because the Steelers.
Plus 600.
Plus 600. Bro, Tomlin. Like, that is like. This just screams to me, Tomlin. Like, there are so many Yinzers out there. They're just like, this is the game that Tomlin loses and the Steelers season is over. Fire Tomlin. He sucks. Bring back Bill Carr. He's one of McCarr's players anyway. Like, real. Like, all right, Yinzer Nate just left the room for a sec. I think the Steelers are going to win. I don't think we're going to win by more than 14 points. Therefore, I am taking the Dolphins plus the points, and they're in my top 5, and I'm going to feel very good about it.
I'm not going to say I disagree. This is a stay away for me.
You're letting your fandom hope get in the way. You're like, man,
hey, man,
I really hope that we win.
Listen, I talked about that at the beginning of the season. I do my best to stay away from the Steelers games because my heart is in it, and we don't bet with our heart. That being said, the whole, Tomlin letdown game. The Steelers are not in a position to have a letdown game against anybody. You can't let down when you already stink. So there's nothing to let down to. This is an opportunity to prove you're less crappy. So I disagree with that. As far as Fitzmagic being in there, they picked him off 3 or 4 times in the game they played against Tampa last year when he started,
and they still only lost. At Tampa Bay still only lost by 3 points.
Hey, fair enough. The rest of their guys are better than the rest of the Dolphins guys.
They suck too.
So I don't know. There's no way I'm putting any faith in the Dolphins. I'm sorry, no way. This is a stay away 100% for me.
I am moving in next door game. Like, give me the points. Yes. Thank you.
No, stay away, man.
Top 5 that shit.
Stay away.
Woo! So happy. Speaking of top 5s, we're going to give you a little recap here. My top 5, which is actually a top 6 this week because I just couldn't decide. So, damn it, my top 5 is... You're getting a bonus in the top 5 this week.
Bonus 5.
Bonus 5. Bonus in the top 5. Bonus top 5 plus 1.
I dig it.
We are going Colts minus 5.5. Rams minus 13. Browns team total under 17 points. Chargers plus 4. Panthers plus 6. And the Miami Dolphins plus 14.5. Sneaky money line parlay.
All right, good sir. My top 5 is the Colts minus 5.5. The Rams minus 13. The Cardinals plus 10.5. Bills minus 1.5. And the Browns under 17. That means our locks are the Colts minus 6. The
Minus
Rams
5.5.
I apologize. The Colts minus 5.5. The Rams minus 13 and the Browns under 17. Just as a side note here, you may have heard us talking about the different lines as far as the different books go. Pro tip, get yourself an account with the different options that you have available to you. A lot of them have some nice promotional deals, refer a friend kind of stuff.
Odds boosts.
Boosts. All that kind of stuff. And when you're going through what you're going to do on Sunday or Thursday night, whatever, whenever you like to get your stuff in, look for the line that supports your pick the best. So obviously, if you've got a pick where it's -2 versus -1, we want the -1.
Yep.
If something's got a payout of plus 150 versus plus 140, we want the payout of plus 150. If there's some stuff that's got some good promotional bonus odds, get on that one. So just a couple extra variables that you want to be thinking about before you place your final bets. But I know you've heard us kind of talking about that today in particular as far as which lines versus different books. That's just one of the strategies that we use here to help us get that money.
Get that money, baby.
That being said, good luck to everybody this week, and let's get that money.
Get that money.
Get that money.